Hello mere mortals and welcome to the Heralds of Galactus season in Marvel Snap. My name is MJ aka Res Snapper and this is Snap or Pass, a series where we look at the brand new cards that come into Marvel Snap each week, and this week it is a new season and we're looking at the Season Pass card Galactus, Fantastic Four First Steps. He's a 6/12. My Herald is the next character I see you play. End of turn, +2 power if you're winning My Herald's location, if in hand or in play. We will explain what this card does, but just so that you know, if you want to skip to the section you want, you can use the sections below. We're going to be talking about like star ratings, deck ideas. It's going to be a very fun time. I'm wearing my new hoodie, which I pretty much absolutely love, to be honest, guys. It's very warm, very comfortable, but it is hot in this room, so I'll see how I get on. Might need to take it off soon. But I am filming several Snapple passes in a row, and we are doing giveaways in all of them, so make sure you're subscribed as well. Okay, before I talk about the card itself, let's just briefly look at some of the stuff you can get if you do buy the Season Pass. This is all stuff that you get if you buy the Season Pass, so the variant there is really nice, the variant for Galactus. We've got a Gambit and a Deadpool. Now, I think the artwork for both of them is absolutely sick. But I don't know why these are the ones that are chosen. Have they ever done a storyline where like Deadpool and Gambit are heralds of Galactus? Or is this something to do with Deadpool and Wolverine like being multiverse stuff? I don't know. And the season card back is very nice as well. Okay, let's just explain his powers then. So he is described as, my Herald is the next character I see you play. What that means is, if Galactus is either in your hand and overseeing everything, is able to see everything, or is on the board, so for example, you might be pulled out from like a Jubilee or your opponent's Dr. Octopus or something. So if Galactus is basically in your state, your hand or your board, then the next card after that moment that you play becomes your Herald. And then if you're winning that location where your Herald is, Galactus will gain +2 power. I hope that that's clear. Let's actually do the giveaway before we do anything else. Please enter the giveaway. So you do need to be subscribed. You need to like this video and then comment on the video answering, what mechanic would you like to see for giant characters? If Galactus is obviously an absolutely huge dude. Would you want to see like a card that takes up 2 spaces? Would you want to see like a keyword where they can't be destroyed? What would you like to see? Give me your cool ideas, and you could win a PAX bundle, so you get like the Miles Morales variant, the Penny Arcade border and card back, and a title as well, if that's your sort of thing. Which, yeah, sure. Anyway, let's talk about the mechanics of the card. I think the archetypes that Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps is going to fit into include tempo decks, where you want to gain tempo in order to block your opponents from doing things, or destroy them with like Negasonic or Cosmo or whatever. End of turn, yeah, this new end of turn archetype that has sparked to life in the Fantastic Four season, as we've got several cards that now work together and coagulate and gel together, that archetype. Maybe lockdown decks might like Galactus First Steps. You lock down a location with Storm or something else. Maybe Nebula's already in there and you're able to secure it, guaranteeing that location, and then you've got this really big Galactus that you can play somewhere else. Hopefully big Galactus anyway. Ramp decks might like Galactus. He's very big, very powerful. He can get bigger and it might benefit you to get him out early, maybe. Sauron decks might possibly like Galactus. He's big. Theoretically, in that deck you're playing big cards, so it's going to be easy for you to win one location with lots of big cards, especially if you've got armor in there maybe, and then you can just win another location with hopefully just Galactus alone. And maybe skills deck might like Galactus as well. Why on earth did I even say that? I don't really even know why I put that thing in there. If anyone knows, I'm not changing it, I'm not removing it. I will have had an idea for that. What it was, I'm not sure. You might have to let me know in the comments. Yeah, not sure about that. Anyway, so he is a new concept for a card, and he talks in the third person. Yeah, so they're introducing some really interesting mechanics here. This kind of concept of him talking in the third person is a bit weird, but I like it. But this concept of him seeing things, so either if he's on the board or in your hand, it's this new concept of cards having awareness. I quite like that. I've said this already, but he can see a card if he's in your hand or on your board. Doesn't matter where he is, as long as it's not in your deck. You know, he's Galactus, guys. Can't do anything if he's in your deck, can he? And is it generically good, or this sentence is worded terribly, generically good or better version of Hulk? Is this better than the Hulk? I think it comes down to the answer to our next question, which is the next point that I'll talk about. But I think there is potentially an argument that this just is like a better version of the Hulk. I think Hulkling is another 6/12 card that maybe you didn't want to play so much. I mean, you don't want to play Hulk either, right? But Hulkling, unpredictable, right? Galactus, often going to be more than 12 power, right? But there is a big thing that I should say. Now, of course, I could have waited until the developer update video, the second dinner release, and watched that before I filmed this video. However, we've got lots of cards coming out this week, and I need to prepare and film these videos very far in advance. So as at the point of recording, I do not know if Galactus is going to reveal himself to your opponent. If a Herald being created by you as you play them, if they are assigned Herald ship, I don't know if that's going to be revealed to your opponent. Okay, so if he isn't revealed, it's much stronger because you can play a surprise high power card. For example, if on turn 1 you play a Martyr, okay, and then you win that location for the remainder of the game, yeah, Martyr will probably move out, fine. But if you then win that location for the rest of the game, you're going to have like a 24 power Galactus, right? Like, absolutely, like, this guy can get huge. And if that's a surprise to your opponent, that's really good, because they're not expecting you to play a 24 power card on the final turn of the game. However, if he is revealed, it's weaker, because your opponent will know what they need to beat, so they know how big Galactus is going to get. But it does create a potential contention of a location, so cards like Rocket and Groot might benefit. So what you lose is that surprise factor of playing a massive card, potentially massive card, but what you gain is a potential fight for a location and the ability to trick your opponent or gain power from them, you know, Laufey, Rocket and Groot, or you stop what they're doing with Cosmo. So there's that element of control factor. I think he'll probably be revealed because we are talking about a season pass card and they probably want to do something fun, and otherwise this card, obviously you'll hear my full thoughts this video, but Anyway, so pros. He can reach a very high power, 24 power if you're winning the Herald location every turn, which is crazy. Obviously a 6/24 is massive and obviously is going to win locations if you can do that. If your opponent is aware of you having the card, you might be able to trick them. Sort of what I said a second ago. Normal tempo sort of stuff, guys. We've been here before. Okay, this isn't new stuff, sheep. Oh, sorry, that did sound bad, and I appreciate you. Enter my giveaway. I'm giving you stuff. No. Cons. You need to draw him. Sorry, I've got to keep on. So, you lot pushing me off track when you know I'm filming 3 of these in a row, and I've got to prepare a further 2 probably, depending on what cards come out at the start of this season, but it's probably going to be absolutely loads. Like, you need to not let me get off track, right? Because I'm going to be here for bloody hours, right? So, cons. You need to draw him early to maximise the power gain, which is arguably the only way that makes him feel worthwhile. I didn't write that particularly well, but basically, if you don't draw him early, and like you can't assign that winning location, that Herald, to a location and get to be winning that location. What, if you get 1 or 2 ticks on him, he's a 14 power card, he's a 16 power card. I'm not sure that is that good, right? Giganto, yeah, is a 16 power card. Of course, you have the restriction of only being able to play him left, but yeah, people don't really play Giganto, not in a normal deck, okay, so he really needs more than 16 plus power to feel worth it, I think. You might start losing your Herald's location, so your win condition could diminish. That's obviously a bad thing. And it's staking quite a lot on being able to win a location with a large card. If you are playing Galactus on the final turn of the game, you're intending to play him, right? You're putting all your eggs in one hen basket, okay? And in that one hen basket can become trodden on, and you break eggs. Yeah, this is the channel for good analogies, okay? Yeah, I'm just you're putting I don't know, and you maybe if he is revealed, you're signalling to your opponent a lot of stuff. I don't know. You lack information, don't you? And I'm not sure if that's necessarily what you want to do in a tempo deck. Right, so what can Galactus be countered by? Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Now, of course, hopefully you're playing Galactus in a tempo style deck, but if you happen to lose priority, which does seem possible if you're especially anticipating on winning one location with Galactus, you know, it's possible that you could be losing that location until you plan to play Galactus. Hey, you might not have priority, okay? So Negasonic Teenage Warhead can just straight up kill you. If you do have priority, however, they can just Shang-Chi you. Shang-Chi's cheaper than Galactus. And finally, are we going to see the return of the leader, right? I normally would say if this was just like a normal Series 5 card that was coming out in seasonal Series 5 snap packs, I wouldn't necessarily say that we would need to worry about the leader. However, I do think people are going to play Galactus First Steps. So does the leader just totally trump it? Are we going to see the return of the leader? It feels kind of possible, right? However, let's talk about the much more exciting thing, which is Synergies. Now, Martyr. Oh my tempo priority gaining queen. The one and only ruling queen. Actually, hang on. The OTA comes out after this video. I'm uploading this on oh, the OTA. Oh, I can update my slide. Here we go. So yeah, Martyr or Black Cat. Black Cat is now a 1/5. Martyr is a 1/5. These tempo queens that you want to get out on the first turn of the game. Boom, boom, boom. If you've got Galactus in hand, even better, fantastic. You get the ball rolling. We love it. We love it. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to recoup for your opponent to immediately recuperate the tempo at that location, so we like it. Iron Patriot. I love Iron Patriot and Martyr. I think I'm going to love Iron Patriot Black Cat. Really hard to come up against. Again, those 1/5s, they're hard to win that location off of if you are the opponent. That was awful, obviously. And something like Laufey might be really nice. Sucking up all that energy. Your opponent might be vying for the location that you are dominating, and you can take advantage of that with cards like Laufey. Those are the kinds of things I'm thinking of for Galactus First Steps. Honestly, he has been a little bit of a difficult card to judge in depth. But in any case, judge in depth we must do in Snap or Pass. So let's talk about the decks. This first deck is I'm Coming Early. Okay, so his arrival is imminent, and even then he's been overly excited, or to get here, and he's come. He's here. So we've got there's a ramp deck in it. So we've got like Lockjaw, we've got Jennifer Kale to hopefully get some early play action. A couple of other lower costed cards, maybe Astral Projection and Electro. Now, actually, what is the wording on Galactus? Yeah, the next character I see you play. So, maybe that's why I said maybe that's why I said he'd be good with skills, because if you play a skill, your skill isn't going to accidentally become a Herald, right? Anyway, so you've got Electro, you've got Astral Projection, you've got Jubilee. The only thing you don't want to Astral Projection is basically Odin. Anything else you would be very happy to Astral Projection, like White Tiger. Maybe Arnim Zola, probably less so, but I mean, I guess you could do a Lockjaw, that might be quite nice. Yeah, basically, guys, you're ramping stuff out early, you're rushing, you either want to Lockjaw or Jennifer Kale into your later game stuff, because you've got a lot of 6-cost cards in this deck. If you do happen to get out an early Galactus, you can then Zola it on the final turn, which might be quite nice. Who knows? Yeah, I was quite constricted because of the budget deck, so it only has one Series 5 card. Actually, does it even have a Series 5 card? No, guys, this has not even got a Series 5. Oh, yeah, sorry. just the card that we're talking about and that I've been talking about for 15 minutes. Fine. Or how, it may not have been 15 minutes, but I may have cut some time out of this video. You don't know. You don't know me. The next deck is actually a good one. It's called Techie Tempo. I think it's good anyway. Techie Tempo. So this is a tempo deck through and through. Now, with the recent OTA, so I prepared these slides, then we've got the OTA, and then I'm filming this video. So this has not come in the right order, right? Maybe you could swap Hydra Bob for Black Cat if you want to play her early, or the difficulty to Black Cat is obviously if you draw her, you have to play her that turn. I think the positive to her in this deck is that, generally speaking, even if you draw her later on, you are going to be able to play her with stuff, because you've got like a lot of cheaper costed cards. Your earlier turns are probably malleable, so it's kind of fine. Anyway, lots of tempo generating stuff. Nebula, maybe Black Cat if you put her in, Martyr, Iron Patriot to benefit from having that tempo, and then you can trick them with either the Cosmo, the Negasonic, the Rocket and Groot, and then you've got the flexibility of having Captain Marvel to move wherever you want, and then you either play your Galactus or you do a surprise Goliath. This might be one of the crucial places that Galactus is actually good in. If your opponent knows you've got a big Galactus, they might be expecting a 16, 18, 20 power card. And what you actually do instead is, instead of trying to win that location that they think they're going to win maybe or whatever, you Goliath somewhere else, and maybe that's good. I really don't know. But we move on to the final deck, which is Herald High Evo. This is a high evolutionary end of turn deck. Now, one of the cards that I absolutely love and have been testing out in these recent high evolution shells alongside She-Hulk and Hulk is Jennifer Kale. This is my big tip to you. Jennifer Kale is fantastic. Now, of course, we do have the Mr. Fantastic, the Pedro card in here, which hopefully means that either a Hulk or a She-Hulk will get discounted, and we can play both of them on the final turn by skipping turn 5 if we've got Sunspot out, which otherwise you probably wouldn't want to skip turn 5. I mean, you might. You can do variations on this deck with Moon Girl, which means you definitely want to skip turn 5. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The Jennifer Kale allows you to play She-Hulk and Hulk on the final turn if you have skipped turn 5, and they haven't been discounted. So that's a really key thing there. And then if you've got cards like Invisible Woman and Fantastica, your curve can just be absolutely fantastic. First turn, Sunspot. Second turn, maybe it is the Jennifer Kale. Third turn, Invisible Woman. Fourth turn, Fantastica. Fifth turn, you skip. And then final turn, you either She-Hulk and Hulk. Now, the thing that hasn't been mentioned, of course, is that Galactus is actually in here. I think Galactus First Steps might just work well in these kinds of decks. If you don't draw the Hulk, it's kind of like another really big thing that you can play. And it scales in a similar way to Hulk. So basically, it might just work as a high evolutionary card. I don't know. Anyway, just a reminder that please, I beg of thee, I sound pathetic. No, yeah, like the video. In fact, no, I'm going to do the opposite of beg. You're an absolute dickhead if you don't like this video. To be honest. Nah. Or like maybe it's just difficult for you to like it. Maybe you're maybe you're cooking. Actually, does anyone watch me whilst cooking? Are your hands covered in flour? Later on, after you finish making your pasta or your cookies, whatever you're doing, please comment on this video saying that I've been cooking. Star ratings. Overall, I think that he is a 3-star card. Yes, a damning review of this Season Pass card. I think usually Season Passes are much stronger than this. We have just seen, well, how many Season Pass cards have we seen be hit by a nerf? Okay, Pedro, I mean, hasn't been nerfed. I think he's bloody lucky to not have been. I think when a card is included in that many decks, it's crazy. What, Iron Patriot, I think they were nerfed. Their card costs more now, doesn't it? The card that they generate costs more. Gwenpool just got hit. Galactus has been hit before. So basically, Season Pass, they always overcook, right? They always make them very strong. And this guy, I don't think is it. I could see this guy getting buffed. Maybe he'd go to 613. Is that too good? I don't know. Generically, just a great card then. Well, is he? Does +1 power make a difference? I don't know. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, guys, I just don't exactly know where this guy's home is. I'm not super convinced. Yes, he's a very big card, but sometimes very big cards don't win the game. Sometimes you need more complicated things to do. So I'm just not sure. From a fun perspective, sure, fine. I think he'll be alright. He's Galactus, he's a big dude. That has a certain amount of fun attached to it. For the archetype, I don't think he's actually enhancing any archetype. If a card releases, just to explain this score, right? If a card releases and I don't think that they add anything or improve an archetype, then I generally give them like a lower score than 3. I think 3 is just like neutral, like they're fine, like just add them in. I just don't think this guy is doing anything for any archetype. This is all personal opinion, guys. I could be wrong. And from a competitive standpoint, yeah, a 3-star, I think he'll be fine. He's a season pass card, so I do think people will play him, but I'm just not really seeing it. So ultimately, I think this is the first time I've ever said that a season pass is a pass. What the hell's this video series called? Snap or pass? Is it called buy or bust? Snap or skip? It's both a pass, a skip, and a bust. Yeah, normally I say that get the season pass, it's worth it. Yeah, I mean, so first of all, I don't think Galactus is a good card, so that's one reason not to get the season pass. I think the other reason is, if I'm being completely honest, I think the state of the game is still... We're just... This new era, right, this new era that was touted, I think has been worse, you know. I think we're a couple months into it now, and we can see what the team are doing. They're more aggressively monetizing the game just in the past couple of weeks, right? If we just look at that, which hasn't really had any controversies, but if we just look at the past couple of weeks, and we now get big pop-up adverts for the bundles in our face. Buy this £100 bundle, which has got Doom and Doom 2099, who both generate tokens, and this £100 bundle, £100 doesn't generate variant tokens. They're the base token. It's like, what the hell are we doing, right? And then Grand Arena. I actually love Grand Arena. I think it's a very fun game mode. But we look at the rewards. We look at the shop, right? And everything in the shop is so expensive. I'm now basically a week into playing this game mode, and I've unlocked... Sure, I got Mole Man. I decided that I wanted to get the Mole Man variant and Mole Man base card. Even though it's a card that I think is actual fecal dog shit, which we'll move on to in the next slide here very shortly. And I've bought one border. So I've basically bought a terrible dog shit card that I probably won't use, or possibly never. I currently don't plan on using Mole Man. I think it's that bad. And so I've just got a border from 1 week of playing, and I bought the event pass for 1200 gold. The rewards are mind-blowingly expensive. So this is the direction of travel of the game. So I'm not sure if there's a time to skip a season pass. It's kind of now, just to I don't know if it affects their numbers and is like, oh, actually maybe we need to be more generous in this game. I don't know. I don't like talking about that stuff, but yeah, anyway, right, let's have a quick chat because, yeah, I'm way off target of where I wanted to be at this time in the morning. Anyway, the previous card is Mole Man. For me, personally, anyway, I have actually just got Thing. No, wait, Invisible Woman. Thing was a few... Well, I just got both. I skipped Thing on his release week. I just picked up Invisible Woman, but I've only played one game with her, so I can't really comment on her too much, other than I think she is fantastic, as we all thought. But Mole Man, I have played a little bit. I played him in Grand Arena. I think he's actual fecal dog shit. I think his Grand Arena deck is pretty bad. Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Oh, yeah. You could get a death, and you got an 8. You got 2 8 power cards. Yeah, that's rarely going to happen. And then even if you've got like Dormammu and that sort of stuff, again, you're rarely going to banish a higher cost of card. When you do, sure, it's quite good. But what if you banish a card that you wanted to banish? Like I've banished Victoria Hand like 3 times, and just those feelings alone of banishing Victoria Hand is just not worth playing this card ever. Like, I've had my fill. I've banished Victoria Hand 3 hands. That is as bad as I could possibly feel 3 times, right? So, I just think he's bad. I just think he's bad. When you look at... Okay, let's look at him sensibly, okay? He was a 3-3. My experience of him is a 3-3. Obviously, he's a 3-4 now. But even as a 3-4, okay, you play a 3-4 card, and then you banish like a random... What? Maybe it's like a Nick Fury, and you get a couple of 1-4s. It's just still not even that good. None of it is really that good. He's so low tempo. Like, why wouldn't you just play Kate Bishop? Kate Bishop is one cost cheaper, only one lower power, and she's actually giving you good cards. Yeah, that can't be Shadow Kinged, by the way. Yeah, anyway. This is the end of the video. Wow, we really ended on a sour note there. Let's get happy for the next video. Although the next video is going to be Super Premium Pass, which is a contentious subject itself. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, if you are new and you got to this point, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.